So he threw you back out again, huh? And your knees, apparently?
I was playing soccer with a bunch of young kids, and I took a hard dive on the ground.
First of
So,
all, why are you playing soccer with the condition that you have?
well, originally I was supposed to be a goalie, and then someone jumped
Why
into the
can't you just
goal
be a
position.
why can't you just be a spectator?
I was spectating most of the day.
You should have stayed as a spectator. Dude, your body is not for that. Not yet.
Yeah, that's true.
You just got over a cold?
Yep. Just got over a stomach infection,
Let me ask you this now. How old are you?
pushing 40.
You're not a spring chicken. You're not in the 20s. You're not in your 30s. You're not in your teens.
This is true.
Bro, why you keep doing this stuff? Like, oh, we had this talk and stuff of what you need to do. Yeah, I want you to be physical, but not like that. Not off the gate, full blast running.
First of all, I wasn't full blast running. I was letting most of the other people do the other things, and except for when the kids ran up to me. I'm like, okay, I'll do a little something. And then one kid decides to do a little juke maneuver with his trick footwork. I don't know what's it called, flair.
That he has skill in this, on the soccer field.
Yeah, I'm the only one that doesn't play soccer, and
You used to when you were a kid.
that was like what, elementary?
Before that,
That does not count. So like I thought my legs were longer. They were not. And I fell over.
right?
And I did from what the coach told me. He's like, you did a flip. And like you did a tuck and tumble all over the ground and came back up. So
Right.
I didn't feel nothing until the adrenaline wore off. And then by the time I got home, everything started to hurt.
Ay, 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 ay.
Hey, I got an A for effort for trying to be physical. So
Yeah, but you got an F for getting
execution.
hurt. Yeah, execution. Talking about executions. Well, bad segue, because we just lost one of our heroes. February 1st, Carl Weathers passed away in his sleep. He was 76 years old, 76 years young, actually, not old, because this man was getting a resurgence in his work in The Mandalorian. He directed a couple episodes as well as starring all 3 seasons. His career, acting career, he had like 3, 4 resurgences. First one was with Sylvester Stallone and Rocky.
Mhm.
That's Apollo Creed. Then he got another resurgence as Dylan and in Predator, and then as Action Jackson, where he got being a leading man. Then he got another resurgence doing comedy with Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore. And then here, his 4th resurgence in The Mandalorian. Now, I don't know what he done for the last season coming up for The Mandalorian. He will be missed.
Well, we're gonna have to do one of his films.
Yes.
But yes, I always did enjoy him as an actor in like most of the performances I've ever seen him do. All the ones you mentioned, of course, and he was a very talented guy.
Oh, multi-talented. I mean, like I said, he besides acting, he directed. And before he got into film and acting, he was a football player. He was a professional football player.
Oh, I didn't know
Short
that.
season. Yeah. He only played 1 year.
Oh,
He only
okay.
played 1 year for John Madden's Oakland Raiders. Yes, he starred with Sylvester Stallone in Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4. With that connection, we're going to review Nighthawks, starring Sylvester Stallone. Rest in power, Carl Weathers. Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
Oh, Don.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert, Nighthawks came out in 1981. It was right before Rocky 3 because he was you can see in here, he was a lot leaner, not as smaller than he was before in the sense of Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. And he had a beard here, which is like very rare that we see him in a beard. We saw him in Rambo in the flashback scenes with a beard. Did he have another movie? He had and Rocky 4, he had a beard for a short time when he was trading in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
This is directed by 2 people, Bruce Melmoth and Gary Nelson. Writers are David Schaber, Paul Silbert, as I mentioned before, starring Sylvester Stallone, Billy D. Williams, Rutger Hauer, and Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman. For me, this was a great movie growing up because on the screen, it was not Sylvester Stallone, it wasn't Billy D. Williams, it wasn't Lizzie Wagner. It was Rocky. It was Lando Calrissian. It was the Bionic Woman. When we're young, when we're watching stuff, we don't really know who the real actors are. We just know the characters they play.
True. True.
When we saw Flash Gordon, I don't know who the real guy's name is. Superman, Clark Kent. I didn't know his name was Christopher Reeve because all I knew was there. Like those movies at that young age, that's how we saw it. We didn't know the story behind the mask or the person behind the mask, if you will.
It's like kids watching Iron Man and then watching a Robert Downey Jr. Film for the first time. Like after that, you're always going to see
Correct.
Tony Stark.
Exactly. Also, we have here Joe Spinell. Yeah, it was Lieutenant Monofo. He was also in the Rocky films. He was especially in Rocky 1 and Rocky 2, I believe. Like one of the promoters.
Okay.
One of the promoter? No, was it a promoter or one of the loan sharks that he had? But anyway, he was in the Rocky films as well. You never saw it before, correct?
Nope.
Until I mentioned it. We talked about it in, what was it? Beverly Hills Cop, I think we talked about it.
Sounds about right.
On Rotten Tomatoes now, 71% by the critics and 55% by the audience. Now, the critics we have here is like 24 reviews, over 5,000 for the audience. Normally, we complain that certain movies are too long, like 20 minutes too long. In my opinion, this movie could have been 20 minutes longer.
I can see that. It did feel rushed at certain times.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't, like you see it for the first time, I haven't seen it since the 80s when it was like just HBO, Cinemax, and Prism. For those from the New Jersey, New York, tri-state area, that's what we had. I remember a lot of good things, but I don't remember like, wow, this is like really quick in the sense of like how Wolfguard and Deke, they're like a butt heads. Like they're like two sides of the same coin. But it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like I wish they had more time in the sense of just escaping his grasp. He's hurting more people, Wolfguard that is. Things of that nature. They spent too much, in my opinion, in the precinct, going over Wolfguard's tactics and all that stuff by the, I guess the MI6, the guy who came down.
The MI6. So basically, the part where Stallone's like, "So you want us to catch this guy, but you're just going to keep us here until you feel like we're ready to catch him when we could be out on the street catching him."
Correct, like wasting time. Right.
He literally
wasting time.
Said exactly what you.
No, exactly. But what I'm saying is like, it just seems so long, all the explanation about this character. In a sense, this is what he does. He's a terrorist who's also a serial killer.
Mm-hmm. Also for Deke, it's like anti-terrorist group is what they're training him for. And Shaka is part of the terrorist group. What makes Wolfguard the man for hire is that he's kind of on the outs with the terrorist organization because his identity is more known. So he doesn't want him, and he's trying to redeem that or get himself back into the organization. If I remember correctly, because he keeps going back to Shaka, and Shaka's like, the leader doesn't like this, and yada, yada, yada. I mean, Wolfguard has a belief. He believes what he's doing is right. He doesn't consider himself a hero, but he's
he does
like a zealot.
I think he does see himself as a hero.
No, well,
because
no.
Here's the thing. Here's a quote from him from the thing. I represent the oppressed, the powerless of the world. I am their voice. I am their liberator. That's kind of like a hero in a way.
I perceive him more as a zealot than a hero, because he doesn't like what he does, but he does it. Is what
he likes killing. He likes killing women.
Oh, it's easy for him. It's his MO for his cover. He gets close to women to find a place to stay and get who are close ties to what his next target is. From what he describes, this is quoting from his film. From the film, what he describes is not what he likes. Is what works.
I am an international terrorist wanted by the police in half of the countries in Europe, and I'm currently laying low for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, there's short is not really the whole thing because he tells the girl Pam, the one he kills in New York, that I also kill women. And he had a quote. What was this quote that he said? He said it to her and he said it to the guy as well.
Yeah, you're going to a better world.
This is weird. Like I've seen it so many times and I can't remember like simple quotes like that. I mean, for me, Rutger Hauer was awesome as a villain here.
I think he plays a good villain in a lot of roles.
Oh yes, Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also a great hero.
True.
Lady Hawk and the Blind Swordsman movie he
Blind
did.
Fury. He also was a villain in The Hitcher.
He was also in Batman trilogy with Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy film. A businessman villain. business villain. Either way, like I said before, I wish they didn't take that long giving explanations of Wolfguard in the sense of what he does and how he does it in a way, in a sense like, yes, like Deke one is like, let's go out there. We're wasting time here.
I think what you're trying to get is like some parts are rushed, some parts took longer than they should have. The whole
It started,
training explanation is too long.
yes.
The parts, like for me, the parts that were rushed were Deke and Fox, their introduction. It was cool, but like you don't get much about them until later on. It's like it just felt rushed in that area with Deke and Fox, and like jumping from them playing undercover to catch some muggers and guys on the street to now Wolfgar in the UK. It didn't mesh at first for me. I'm like, why we're in the UK now? They're like, this is New York. They kind of had to bridge the gap.
And they did that, and you see it, but
Came later.
it came later.
And then how fast they found him.
Well, we don't know how fast. It just seemed fast. We don't know how many times he was there on the road, but yes, it does seem fast considering how long they're in that precinct going over the files and his MO and all that crap.
And he's like just erased the beard.
Well, not just that, he erased the beard, he took off the glasses, and I think he adjusted the nose.
He did.
And he just like, that's kind of quick. And then he sees her, he finds her really quick. I mean, here's the thing, like, you don't get it in a sense, or not you, but like when you're watching it, again, it's so fast. Like Fox and Deke, they're great at what they do.
True.
They're undercover cops where you have Deke that he'll put himself in danger, and then Fox is the backup. I think the ending was kind of weak and great at the same time.
It leads back to the beginning of the film.
Correct. And I thought that's my favorite part. Is my favorite. I wish Kim saw it because I don't think Kim saw it, or she hasn't seen it since it first came out. But she was so tired that she went to bed. And I wish she saw that reveal in the sense, yes, it goes back to where we first meet Sylvester Stallone in disguise as a woman trying to get perps to attack. And you have him here doing the same thing. And it was great. Good back then. It was still good how they did it here. What I don't like is how it was done in the sense like he shoots Rucker or Wolfgar, blood is scattered all over the place. Like, how is that possible? And I think he shoots him, 3 times? And it seems like 4.
I know, it was like twice.
Was just twice?
It was twice. Like the one in which was the shoulder, which was a big explosion. The second time, but then it looked like he got shot with a shotgun. It was just like, I was like watching and going, what? Did we miss it? Did they cut down the scene? Was there supposed to be more shots?
They probably did cut down the scene. But the thing is, he travels back so far through the hallway, and that hallway is long. From the door to the kitchen, that's a long-ass hallway. And then he breaks through backwards through the door that easily. And it's like kind of reinforced in a way that the door goes in the house when you open it. But he goes back and the door is just open back. And then he falls on the steps and holds himself on the rail. If you notice that. He's not stuck. He's like, he just holds himself dead on the rail.
Yeah, he catches himself.
Yeah, but he's dead. You don't, when you're dead, you can't hold on.
No, I get that. Just saying the stuntman caught himself.
Deke shows up right there at the steps and then it cuts. I was like, that's it. I don't remember ending like that.
Remember, like that was a whole thing about the whole training, and then they kept drilling it. And when you get the shot, take it. When you get the shot, take it.
Oh no, he understood that, and Deke understood that too. But the thing is, his big thing was not to put innocent people in danger. That was his big thing. There was no innocent person in danger on that time. He didn't have his ex-wife held hostage. Oh, another thing, the girl, Wolfguard's partner, the female, Shaka. Excuse me, thank you. Yes, you said that earlier. That she had all this intel on all the characters, on the cops, and all that stuff, handwritten in the time frame of Deke and the police force learning the anti-terrorist tactics. That's kind of convenient. Back in the day, where there's like little bit use of computers, everything is on paper. How are you gonna get those files shipped to the place or what have you?
They say like, oh, their network is so much better than ours.
The thing is that they're in the US. They're not in Britain. They're not in London.
Yeah. This is what the MI6 guy was saying. It's like, their network's better than yours.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, it was just like, there are like a lot of faux pas. Like I had to say, like movies today, they do better, even though they're a lot longer on the average than back then. They do a lot better on explaining stuff or how things come to be. Like I said, we talked about it. It did feel rushed at times.
Yeah, it's a fine line.
Yeah, I mean, it's still entertaining. I still had it, the performances by all the actors are great.
Hmm.
Rucker Hauer, he's a scene stealer. So, Sly Stallone was a scene stealer here. Even Billy D. Williams, even though his time here was very short, when it says, his supporting role, it was done very well. Now, I mentioned my favorite moment was at the end. What about you?
With the helicopter, the what do you call
Oh, the
that?
hostage.
The hostage scene with the trolley.
Right.
What?
Me and Kim were, sorry, before you go on there, me and Kim, we rode that. It still rides today
Oh,
to
wow.
Roosevelt Island. Yeah, yeah. So we did it one time. We did it during the day, which was really cool. And we did it at night, which is kind of cool. You can't really see anything because it's so dark. But then you see the New York lights in the Midtown and all this stuff. It was kind of cool. But anyway, go ahead. You're saying yes.
The reason I like it is because it's like one of those scenes that it captures the fact that they know everybody, they planned everything out. Very convenient though. But the baby, the fact that there was a baby on there, even though he's like, I'm not, it's like I don't want the wrong image that I will hurt a baby. He seemed like a character that would hurt children. As a matter of fact, in the explosion, he did. He did.
Yes, in his opening scene, he put the bomb in. It was in like a shopping center, mall, if you will.
Exactly, and that's why I say he's a zealot. He believes in his cause more than like others do. But that's the thing. Like, even though the interactions between him and Stallone are like of the sense that he's, I have a higher cause and whatnot. He even tells him, like, I'm giving you my manifesto. Whatever may happen, you may drop that baby. Don't drop that manifesto.
Right.
So there's always that underlying danger that you're feeling, because he killed that wasn't the mother he killed. He killed
he killed wife. Like the French consulate wife, something like that. Yeah. When they dropped her out, even though it wasn't her real body, but still, just to see like au revoir, dumped her in the river. I was like, damn, that's cold.
So that was a really good scene overall, just for the tension of it.
And I wish there was more of that. That's why I feel that the movie could have been longer, because it could have been other times where, say, like they have a conversation over the phone where it's like, you and I are the same, blah, 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 or getting to know each other in that aspect where, like, say, like Wolfgar says, I know about you, blah, blah. And then Deke can say, I know about you, in a sense of his history and things of that nature. It would have been better if the tension between the two was more intense. Now, granted, in the real life, it's not like that. It's like you just go for you try to stop the crime as best as possible. But just for cinematic reasons or cinematic purposes, I would just like a little more tension between the two characters.
I would also say I kind of like the scene where the MI6 agent is coming up the escalator and he sees Shaka.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought he was going to.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say that, and then he goes Shaka, and she shoots him. That cracked me up because I thought he was going to be like shit.
But I think he said that because it was on the. Of course, he said it on the walkie-talkie just to let him know like who did it.
Yeah.
The scene where she gets taken down and they're going onto the bus.
I was thinking about that just now.
Right. But did you see Dog Day Afternoon starring Al Pacino?
No, actually.
And Dog Day Afternoon is based on a real event that Al Pacino's character and another character, they went to rob a bank, and they had these people hostages, and it didn't go as planned. Yeah. So they get a bus to escape, right? Just like how it's here. Like Al Pacino is gay. They bring that up. But the other guy is not. On the news thing, is telling like they're saying like they're both gay or something like that, or implying that they're both gay. And the guy is getting like upset that they think he's gay. I think I'm trying to remember, trying to recall this by memory. They are going onto the bus, and that guy, they slip and he gets shot in the head, just like Shaka got shot in the head when Sylvester hit that button
to play the tape recorder of
the lieutenant, whatever the MI6 guy.
Where he's basically just insulting Shaka.
Right. And she exposed herself because they're using the people as human shields.
Yep.
Not to get hit. And then she exposed herself, tried to take Deke down, and then Fox shoots her in the head. So it was like almost like a play by play of what happened in Dog Day Afternoon.
True.
Very similar.
And
Very similar.
which is, I guess it was a play on the fact that she's supposed to have like no compulsion against her personality. Like she doesn't like insults or something like that. Like she's very compulsive.
Right. Very reactive.
Which it's kind of funny because like most of the movie, she's very calm, collected.
Right.
And like even like a hostage situation.
Right. Yeah. But I guess this was out of her comfort zone and what was happening here because she was like the kind of person that worked in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I don't know. But again, that's what we missed really in a sense because all those talking, sometimes you get all that talking, you get distracted, you get bored, you get lost in all that this description.
We prefer the cliff notes.
Well, no, just give me I would like to see that explained through action. Let me see her do that stuff because again, like you said, she could have killed all those guys on that ferry thing, on that rail, that rail thing, right? And she didn't. She just stood there hanging guard, holding the hostages at bay while Wolfguard handled his business.
Yeah, and even Wolfguard says like, "Don't let my companion's female persuasion confuse you. She has no ifs, ands, or buts about eliminating man-woman."
Right. Well, she was kind of like the female version of him in a way.
Very much so.
Do you have a faux pas?
I mean, we've talked about some of the other stuff like the shots and the falling out of your favorite scene. The runtime is the biggest thing, and I'm gonna be okay with it. I mean, Billy D. Williams as Fox. Oh, that was the one thing. Like when he lost his cool with the gangsters, I get it looking back on it now, but at the time when I was first watching it, is he supposed to be on the edge at all times? It's just a one-time thing because afterwards he stayed for the most part more collected than he did with those gangsters that he was arresting, the drug dealers.
Right, the drug dealers. I think he just lost his cool because
but this is one of those things like this is where the movie could have been longer to like give some background to more of the characters or something like that. Like,
he's
this
black.
Was like really at the beginning.
Yeah, like I said, he's black. The drug dealers are black. He could be pissed that his own people are doing this. Like this is the lifestyle they chose, where
they're involving kids.
Right? Exactly, and so he may have just done that. And plus, you're going in already like high strung, not knowing what's behind that door. So it could be a multiple factors why he lost his cool so easily. But unfortunately, we don't know.
Yeah.
But for me, a faux pas in the sense of it's about Fox, Billy D. Williams, that he's running. They're both running, chasing Wolfgar, and he's running so close to the rails, which you should never do, especially if you don't know where the suspect is. And he gets easily cut.
Yeah, right across the jaw.
A small knife. It's not like a dagger in the sense of long, like 12 inches. It's so small that his shoulder to his neck or jawline is even longer than the knife was.
Yeah.
So I just find it like, why would you do that? I mean, I still find it a great scene. And I'm surprised he didn't do that. Instead of doing that, why didn't he just stab him in the stomach?
Good answer that. Like, let's put it this way. Rutger Hauer's character didn't seem much like a fighter as much as he was a killer, of course, but he wasn't much of a fighter. Like you didn't see him do like hand-to-hand stuff. You saw him he was a planner to kill.
No, I know, but he was standing behind that column, right?
Yeah.
He could have stepped out with his, and just faced him and with his hand by his side, easily stabbed him right into the gut a couple times. Not in the sense of like one-on-one fighting. Okay, it's you and me, buddy. No, he just pops out and just stabs him into the gut.
Honestly,
that's what
I thought. I thought Fox was supposed to die at that scene.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because
that's what I'm saying.
What more did he bring to the table afterwards?
Well, he took out Shaka,
but that could have been anybody, really. Let's be honest.
True, you're right about that. But that was like his partner. But yeah, see, that's why it would have been better if he died because of the connection to Deke.
And that would have made a deeper connection to Deke and Wolfgar.
Yes, more personal. Exactly. That's my problem with that scene. Yeah, great. I'm okay, fine. He lived. But if you're trying to escape someone and you hit him in a severe area, stab in the stomach is very deadly.
Even if Fox didn't die, he would have been hospitalized for a while.
Correct. Because all you had to do was get stitches. Because Granted, there's muscle tear and skin tear, of course, from the knife, but it
Scarring.
wasn't scarring. But what it wasn't life threatening,
True. But
right?
it also
Like
would have made more sense for Wolfguard to be obsessive with Deke over Fox if Fox was out of the picture. Like he was like, I want that bastard. And he was like, who do you mean?
right.
And it's Deke. He's just like, why? Because you identified him? It was the two of you. You were both there. You had no
No,
interaction between the two of you other than that.
well, I guess it's because like Deke figured him out at the club, and they had that moment where they just locked eyes.
Yeah, but that's it.
Right?
I mean, like he just obsessed with
No,
him after that.
exactly. Yeah, it's just some kind of homoerotic connection with Wolfguard and Deke. I guess I don't know because that's what it seemed like in the way. You're the one that figured me out. No one has figured me out. You're the one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make that personal,
Yeah, and
but I'm
that
not gonna take
leads
anyone
back to the
out.
trolley. He goes like, "You and I are the same." He's like, "You just don't realize it yet." Like he thinks he's Joker from Batman.
Yes, but not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't trying to break Deke. He was trying to, I guess, destroy him in a way because he went after his ex-wife.
Yeah, had Deke insult the
And
police.
huh?
Had Deke tell him like the police are cowards, and Deke's
Right.
like, "What'd you say?" he's like, "Say it."
Here's another faux pas. I don't know where the deli is, but how freaking fast did Deke get to his ex-wife's house? Granted, Wolfgar was on foot himself, or
Still
maybe he
soaking
was
wet.
exactly still soaking wet. How long did it take him to get there in the sense of where Deke was, and then New York traffic? Unless the deli was across the street, then okay. But
I
I just
mean,
find that little.
looking back on
But
it, like
I still
how
love that. I still love that scene though.
I know you do. I bet looking at the efficiency of that scene is just not that great. Like really, if he had enough time to get himself there, he's leading a crew of people. They could have at least spanned like one or two other officers to go there.
Yeah,
And
but he
like
just ran. But he just ran when he could when the phone was being answered. He just took off, didn't tell anybody.
you telling
I
me
believe.
he got a taxi?
But I'm saying we don't know how he got there, but that's the beauty of that scene because we don't know that we think he's too late,
Fair enough.
right? But I'm just saying, like, where was he? How far was he from the ex-wife? I do love that scene in a sense where how Wolfgar broke in, was able to just gently disengage the lock, the chain lock. That was kind of cool, which is like shows you how weak that lock is, and then how he went around the way to take off the phone just in case it rings. Because those phones, when that phone is off the hook, it can't call anyone.
Yeah.
No other phone, the house phones don't work then. If someone calls you, it's a busy signal. But I mean, I don't know. It's a great scene. It's like so unexpected. But just his death in the sense that going through that hallway was just like, that doesn't make sense. And I think you're right. I think there's more shots that they just edited out, which I think they should have done it, kept it true in the sense like it was 4 shots, have it 4 shots. If that's the case, or if he emptied the chamber.
Yeah.
Again, Rotten Tomatoes has it at 71% by the critics and 55% by the audience. Where do you see it at?
Solid 70%.
Yeah, 70%. I don't see it higher in the sense of how overall film is not as strong as I remembered.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfguard is a great villain. Deke is a great hero in this aspect. He's going through his things, okay? He wants to be back with his ex-wife.
Yeah.
He's going through his dilemma, his personal thing, which I liked. I did like that. We see a little bit of their history of each character, of the 2 main characters. The poster for this, well, there's several, but the most recent ones it reminds me of, or maybe inspired Face Off, because Face Off is very similar.
Yeah.
With John Travolta and Nicolas Cage with the 2 split faces.
For the style.
So yes. Is this worth the watch in your opinion? Were you happy to see this?
Seeing that I've never saw it, the age of it, I was questioning it, but it was actually a pleasant experience considering. So yeah, I was happy to see it.
I think for me, I think it's still worth the watch. Yes. Are there some mistakes? Is there some continuity or pace issues? Yes. Could this movie have been longer? Yes.
I can see this being a show, like a series. Because when you think about it, like the way that it's done, it's actually like you can get a lot of story out of the main characters themselves. And then introducing Wolfgar and Shaka, those 2 characters alone, that's easily 1 to maybe 3 seasons worth of content you can pull milk out of that.
I agree with that. And they're doing that now also with Mr. and Mrs. Smith, currently streaming on Amazon Prime. They did a movie with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, pretty much the same idea. I mean, I haven't seen it yet. So it's kind of like the same concept, husband and wife spies and they go to a therapist or like that. The movie version, they don't know they're spies. I don't know how there is in the show. but we can watch that and review that maybe another time. This movie is definitely worth the watch. I give it a solid 70. Billy D, Sylvester, Rucker are scene stealers in every scene, I believe. And I just find it funny, real quick though, his scarring, his bandage, every time we see him gets less and less and less. Maybe to show there's a time period happening with each one.
That makes sense.
Because first he has he has a big ass one, then it's like a little smaller, and then it's just like the stickers, whatever you call the tape.
Yeah.
So maybe
rather
that's a
than them
time
saying
from
like day 5 or day 20, that kind of
3
situation.
weeks later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. That is our throwback review of Nighthawks. Have you seen it? Also, if you have a movie or series you would like us to review, please let us know in the description below. Until next time, will be the next time. I'm Angel.
Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.